Hello, everybody. Paul O'Halloran here again, Grieg from Pathway Teaching. And I just wanted to do a little chat to you about soul retrieval. I've done one before on fragmented souls and things like that. It's on the YouTube channel as well. But this time, I just want to bring you up to date with some more things. And I thank you so much for taking time out to watch this video. And I hope that in your practice and in your work that this will help souls on their way as well and make your work easier. As you know, soul retrieval, we talk about soul retrieval from a shamanic perspective. We talk about traumas in people's lives and how parts of the soul leaves the body. And our job as shamans is to go to retrieve that soul. So in my practice and in my work over the years, I've worked with that modality in the traditional sense for many years till eventually little souls used to start to appear in the room. And initially I thought there were attachments or ghosts or some other aspect that needed to be released and sent back to the spirit world. So I remember one day this little girling came in. I was working with a woman, and this little girling came in with kind of curly hair, and she was about 4 or 5 years of age, and I sent her back. She kept coming back into the room till I started to communicate with her, and she said she was the soul part ready to come back into that person, to connect with that person, to unite with that person. She was just waiting for me to finish the work. So sometimes it will happen like that. And then what used to happen, it kicked on to another stage where I would see a father, a mother, a brother, a sister that were in spirit, an elder, or whatever, a relation, an ancestor of that family, walking back with the soul part in behind them and bringing the soul part back to me. And I was saying, oh, this is so beautiful. It's so lovely. It's so, such a beautiful connection that, and then I put the soul part back into the person. And then roll on again, I realized in time that when I did more work on it and more insights came to me, that sometimes when you see an ancestor standing behind a person, we all experience that in our shamanic work. We can see a father, a mother, a brother, a sister, grandfather, grandmother, an ancestor with some aspect standing behind that person. And then I realized in lots of these cases, I usually douse for to see that when that person died, they had a strong connection with the person that's here and the here and now. So an aspect of their soul would be still here connected to them. But likewise, because of the trauma it caused to the person that's in the here and now, in the energy, and they were traumatized on the death, part of their soul fragmented, but that part of their soul usually ended up with that ancestor. So what has happened to me in this period of time and in this energy is that I would have to do a soul retrieval for the person that's dead, to take the aspect of the soul to stand behind the person in the here and now, bring it back to them. And a good way of doing that sometimes to get them to release that energy is to do the Ho'oponopono prayer with them. To get that person to say it, I usually get them to say it 3 times or 4 times. The first time they say it, they don't really connect. The second time is deeper. The third time is even deeper still. And I usually up to maybe 4 times till I feel that from their soul that they're ready to let go. And it's basically very simple. I love you. I'm sorry. I thank you. Please forgive me. I forgive you. I release you. And that aspect of the soul goes back to the person. And then I journey or go to the person that has received that soul part back and do the Ho'oponopono prayer with him to release the aspect of the soul that they're holding on to, belong to that person that was caused through the trauma of their death or their loss, and bring that soul aspect back into that person. And I find since I start doing it in that way, lots of times there's more completion on the work. the person that's gone to soul, you release them, or gone to spirit, you release them and they go home. And they're gone home fully with no attachment to the person that they're leaving behind. And likewise, the person that they're leaving behind, that fragment of their soul, that aspect of their soul, comes back to them, and they become whole again, and they have less attachment. That's not to say that they still don't miss the person, but there's not that spiritual attachment to them. So that person can, in a quicker period of time, actually release that pain and that energy and get on with their life, and the soul is free. I also find, you know, there was another story one time where I was working a long time ago, and this guy walked into the room, this guy that was passed over, but he had a donkey with him. And, you know, and I was kind of saying, what's he doing with the donkey? But anyway, the donkey, people start laughing, and they said, don't tell me, he's still hanging on to that donkey. He said everywhere he went, he brought the donkey with him. They were really, really close. And sometimes you'll see people stand in spirit and there'll be a dog beside them. Sometimes that's a signal to the people that you're actually working with, that that's the actual person, and they'll remember that that's the trigger for them to connect with the person. But also I've realized in that work as well that there's an attachment from that person to the donkey, soul-wise, and a detachment from the donkey, say, to the person, soul-wise, to the dog or to the animal. So, you know, it's worth checking out, and it's worth releasing both, so both can be free in the spirit world and wherever they need to go. You'll also get that with place. Lots of times when you're working with place, people that work with place, just please be aware of this. You know, you'll go into a farm or into a factory or into somewhere where, you know, since the elder or the person maybe that started that factory or started that or had an attachment to that farm, and the farm can sometimes come back generations through the people or through the family. And you'll find the spirit of maybe a father, a grandfather there in that place, still on the land. And the guy that's working the land at that time, the man or the woman that's working the land, they find sometimes, you know, that there's little things going wrong. Things are not flowing the way they should be flowing. There's breakdowns, there's interruptions, there's all that kind of thing going on. So what I found with that as well is that that man is there, or that person is there, the initial owner of the farm, but he has such an attachment to it. He had such connection with it. Even when in spirit he left, he had a soul connection to the land, and the land had a soul connection to him. So he found it hard to let go. So lots of times when you know, connect with that energy in whatever way, it's a good thing to be aware if there's to douse or to ask spirit if there's a soul connection there between the person and the place. And again, soul retrieval, an aspect of a soul could be attached to the land. It could be with the fairy people. It could be connected in any way, even with a tree spirit or whatever, and just ask. So there's kind of like a soul retrieval done at that level, where the aspect of the land that he holds is brought back to the land. The aspect of his soul that's connected, the connection of his soul that's connected to the land is brought back to him. So they're free and they walk away, so that the energy flows again. These are just a few points that I just wanted to share with you. It can work in business, it can work in different things. It just opens up that field a little bit more. I'm just sharing this with you so that in your work, those that are working out there in the fields, and I'm aiming this at shamanic people, practitioners, spiritual people, or whoever. And I believe that when we get insights into the energy like this, it's good to share this energy with other people that do this work, and in a way, hopefully make the work easier and more complete that you're doing, but more importantly, that we make it more complete, more whole for the souls and the people that we're releasing and the people that's left behind. So I thank you for watching this, and I hope you've learned something from it. And if there's any feedback, you can connect us at info@pathwayteaching.com. Thank you so much. And till we talk again, God bless.